As most of us know, the media surrounds our everyday lives. It is in our lives through the TV, social media, newspapers, and the internet. It grabs our attention and can take hold of it. The media is how we learn information, pass free time, and communicate with others. It has the power to persuade our society in many ways. The media can persuade our actions, thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. In particular, social media has a way of consuming many people in our society. It has all ages drawn to participate in some sort of social media. Many older generations use Facebook, while younger generations are more fascinated by TikTok and Snapchat. My first point in this speech is to describe how social media distracts students of various ages in school, activities, and homework. It will then bring me to my second point to explore how social media affects our self-esteem and self-image. My last point is to illuminate how social media can persuade our actions and thoughts. Social media shapes how we view and interpret others, ourselves, and our way of life. Because social media is so present in our lives and always evolving, it can draw too much of our attention and take it away from our studies. Many schools and colleges are finding their students distracted by many platforms social media has to offer. Gawk wrote an article in a scholarly journal that describes a study done to examine how students balance their time between studying and their free time. 220 students were examined between the ages of 18 and 20 to gather results. The study revealed that the majority of the time, both females and males were on the computer to use Facebook and listen to music. 87% of the time, males used the computer for Facebook, while 27% of males were using their computer to review a course's material. This concludes that students spent more time on social media websites rather than studying for their classes. Computers were rarely used to read a book or newspaper. In addition, 65% of women and 62% of men spent zero time reading outside the class. The majority of women and men spent an hour or less studying for their classes in one day. Based on these results, it is obvious that social media can cause students to stray away from their studies and participate in socials. Social media can persuade our society to look in more and more, causing some people to become addicted. According to Laura Silver, author of People Say the Internet brings economic and educational benefits, but some are concerned about the societal impact on society. Technology itself is benefiting schools, but social media and games that come along with it can consume children and the society. As our society scrolls on social media, minds are flooded with pictures and models and celebrities that we start to build an image of what the ideal person looks like. When the image doesn't resemble who we are, it can affect a person tremendously. To add, when we post a picture, video, or comment, we are putting ourselves out there and risking hateful and negative comments. According to Silje Steinbeck, author of academic journal The Impact of Social Media Use on Appearance, Self-Esteem from Childhood to Adolescence, people create standards from other posts on how to look, act, feel, and talk. People on the internet create an image of what the ideal person looks and acts like. If a person doesn't fit this set image, it decreases confidence and esteem. A study was conducted to see the effects of social media on self-esteem from ages 10 to 14. The more social media they went on, the more their self-esteem decreased. This also was the case for girls. They are more affected by social media as they take things to heart more often than boys do. Additionally, social media affects our mentality. It tends to cause teens depression and anxiety. Elizabeth Seabrook, the author of Social Networking Sites, Depression and Anxiety, states that researchers have found that bullying, negative comments, and isolation caused depression and anxiety cases to increase dramatically. Not only can it cause mental illness, but it can trap us in our past and previous mistakes. The internet is permanent and people can't escape what has been put out there, as discussed in How Social Media Shapes Our Identity by Nausicaa Runner. As demonstrated, social media can persuade how we feel about ourselves and our mentality. The power of social media is not limited to the persuasion of our thoughts and feelings, but also our actions. Social media can shape what is morally right to post and share. It can also shape what things are considered cool and fun. even if these actions aren't ones we would normally approve of. A popular thing nowadays for teens and young adults is to vape. New flashy nicotine devices are coming out and redesigned to grab the appeal of our age. A study was conducted to see how social media affects the use of e-cigarettes among college students, both men and women. They found that social media often depicts the image of using an e-cigarette as having a good feeling, something to do to pass the time, and a stress reliever. This image encourages other teenagers and young adults to partake in the use of e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes also encourage people to try because of their flavors, their packaging, and the cleanliness compared to real cigarettes. E-cigarettes are more socially normalized nowadays in comparison to cigarettes. Social media is often used to promote e-cigarettes to be used. Also on social media, when someone sees their friends using e-cigarettes, they are more exposed and likely to try it because their friends do. Through our actions, feelings, and thoughts, it is prominent that social media has the power to persuade our society. Whether it is distracting people from completing an assignment, creating anxious teens who don't look like the ideal image of beauty, or changing the values and morals of college students to partake in vaping. Social media is becoming a bigger part of our lives, and we need to live with the effects it brings. To create a more positive social media experience, all we need to do is be kind to each other.